Leo 22, a carrier pigeon. So the carrier pigeon is the emblem of some being of consciousness that knows exactly what its purpose is, which is to return home. So we're being asked here to just check out, what's our mission? What are we doing in life? If we're going home, then what is our home? And we're not going to answer that in geographical terms, of course. It's a state of mind. And inevitably, the process of incarnation and experience and knowledge, repeatedly, if that's the model that you like to use, is aimed at a certain outcome. And the Buddhists clearly demonstrate what that is in their philosophy, which is the enlightened mind. So the carrier pigeon is an emblem of our journey towards the enlightened mind. Now, knowledge comes to us in response to questions. Our questing for knowledge is an interactive process. We don't get given knowledge gift wrapped. We can't just know what we experience. We have to first have the experience, and that's an important thing for us to think about. What experiences are we moving ourselves towards? And then the second thing is to assimilate what the experience means. The meaning of an experience is the knowledge that we gain. Now, of course, the enlightened mind can know anything, but it doesn't already know anything. It can know whatever it focuses its attention upon. In other words, the question is that which produces the answer. This is one of the most important things for us to learn on our journey of spiritual seeking. We have to ask the right questions. And people don't. This is the biggest problem of all. The seeker forgets common sense. We're here in a physical body on the earth plane, so everything that we do, everything that we know, has to be put into the context of physicality. This is not at all common, but it's called common sense. What works? If you adopt a certain strategy in life, things work out for you. If you don't, they go wrong. That's common sense. If you treat your body badly by eating the wrong things and by doing insufficient exercise and so on, then the body will tell you, look, that's not okay, that's not working properly. And if you have insufficient funds to meet your needs, then your life isn't working. And if you're not in good relationship with your partner and your children and your colleagues and your friends, there's something wrong. We find out what's wrong by noticing the feedback that we're getting. That's the beginning of realization that something has to change. And then we have to understand what's wrong and what might work instead. And the way that understanding occurs is by asking a question. Why, perhaps, or how, or when, or who. These questions change the answer quite significantly. Questions like why are rarely helpful. Actually, this is something to learn. The question why is ambiguous, first of all, because it's answered either from the past or the future. We don't know which we mean when we ask the question. Why am I sitting here? Well, I'm sitting here because I entered the room and I sat down. That's why I'm sitting here. That's the cause of this effect. And yet, why am I sitting here? I'm sitting here to present to the camera. That's my purpose. That's also the question why. So if I ask my question why, there's an ambiguity in the question. So the answer can't really come to me because the question is not clear. If you change your questions to when, who, what, how, very much more specific answers come your way. So here's a very simple linguistic tool for you to become clear about your questions. And if you're not clear about your questions, you're not clear about your quest. And you can't get knowledge because you're not on a quest for knowledge. If you were, you'd know what your questions needed to be. So the first thing that we have to do is to define the purpose of our mission. What is our mission in life? Is it to teach? Is it to heal? Is it to guide people? Why do we want this enlightened mind? Is it just because we want to feel the glory of knowledge? Or do we want to do something with it? And another mystery unfolds here is that the first condition cannot exist, because the glory of knowledge is nothing without context. That's what we mentioned earlier. And the context of knowledge is knowing what to do with it, how to use it, to what purpose are we going to put this knowledge. And teaching, healing and guidance are the service of an enlightened mind. That's what it does. It helps people out. If it doesn't, then you're serving a darker energy. If you want to serve the light, then you help other people. The quest of the Buddha led an individual who was a prince in a royal palace away from fame and fortune into the woods, where he became austere and ascetic. And that didn't work either. And eventually he sat himself under the Bodhi tree and insisted, I'm going to be enlightened. I'm not moving from this spot until I'm enlightened. And in meditation, asked all the questions that he asked. And he was right on the edge of being enlightened, and wondered why he was not actually making the breakthrough. And the final teaching that the Buddha had to understand was assumption. You have to behave as though you have knowledge in order finally to have knowledge. You have to fake it till you make it. You have to act as though. This takes clarity, confidence, almost audacious confidence, and stay with that. So if you act as though you have knowledge, if you act as though you're enlightened, then, and you stay with that as a way of life, how can there be any difference between what you imagine and what is, if you do it all the time? That's the final test of assumption. It applies to everything, really, not only enlightenment. If you assume a position, then that will become your reality.